This is something that we call Soireétoria.
I'd rather buy a pre-owned original design than buy something which is a knockoff.
And for a brand like us, we have never gone on sale ever for the last
Oh,
10
wow.
years that we've existed.
I
Not
am
even
selling
once.
some Shiva Naresh on Saritoria now for half the price. Everyone, whoever wants, come get. Your biggest style faux pas.
My biggest style faux pas.
Yeah.
That vest.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the sweater you wore to my house with holes and your
Yeah.
nipples were coming out of that.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's one only. Hi guys, welcome. So this is, I think I did tell you like briefly, but I will want to explain it again. This is something that we call Soireétoria. It's a little take on Saritoria, on our business. And the whole idea of this is to get people we love, experts, so to say, or people who are just well-versed with the fashion industry or some of the fun topics that we're going to discuss. And just to give people insight on certain topics in the fashion industry, on community building, on pre-loved fashion. And it's always nice to have a conversation that's candid and easy and flowing, and that's the idea of this. And sometimes with really candid conversations, you really come up with some really cool new ideas, and you have an epiphany sometimes. Sometimes you learn something new. So the idea is to benefit us, of course, but also to benefit so many people who will want to watch this and who want to be a part of our community. And now that you're here, you already are. So anyway, I'm going to just introduce you guys. Shiva and Naresh, amazing designers. Resort wear, you guys do so much more. Indian. There's a fun, cool element to everything you guys do, and of course your dear friends. And then Shweta, who I love. In the pandemic, actually, Shweta had been putting up really helpful resources on her social media, and she was doing it really elegantly and beautifully, which everybody was kind of just doing it, but she was doing it with aesthetic, which is so nice. And her clothes, she's a designer, 43188. I've sold her for so many years, and she does super well. I think Shweta really understands Indian clients and Indian women body types and what would look nice on them. And there's something very classic about everything she does. I love her fringe. Her fringe sari is like all the rage. So that's Shweta. Varun. Now, Varun and I have amazing history. We briefly worked at Harper's Bazaar together when Harper's Bazaar was launching in India. We spent so much time together. I think I would like to say that Varun has a very unique perspective. He has a really good insight into what Indian fashion is, what is needed. He consults some amazing luxury brands now. And he's been a journalist, and he always has a really critical way and an interesting way of looking at things. So I'm really excited to have you here. So a lot of designers are changing, or people in the industry are changing their businesses from linear to circular, right? They don't want the lifetime of a garment sold to just end in the first sale, right? Or they do different practices. For example, you make it circular by using recycled fabric. So that means that it's already been used. You're using it again. So you're helping towards a circular economy. What have you guys done within your company to kind of contribute to a more circular fashion economy?
I think for us, even though we were slightly ahead of the time, now that I look back at it, I don't think I had this stance back then, because we weren't sure what we were doing is how it's going to span out. But we always had to give a reason to an Indian woman why she would spend an X amount of big money on a bathing suit. Typically it was something that she would wear once a year on a holiday, and for her to spend that kind of money on a swimsuit, you had to always give it a reason. How is this going to be usable? So from the very beginning, the conversation that we had around a swimsuit was always to be using it as a bodysuit in your wardrobe. It's not just a swimsuit, but it's also a bodysuit that you wear with trousers. You wear it under a sari as a blouse. You wear it with a jacket over it. You wear it with a paneo on a holiday. So you wear it with a boyfriend shirt on top of it. So we always told our women that that's how you use a bathing suit throughout the year, irrespective of when you get it and irrespective of what you're getting it for. So to make them understand that that's how the life of a Soireétoria garment can be and how valuable it can be in your wardrobe, it was a conversation that we've been doing for past 10 years anyways. But here now during the pandemic, it just became so much more relevant, because when people started to speak of sustainability, one aspect is, of course, is your back end, what fabrics you use, is your business model sustainable, the people who are hiring your dyeing fabrics, is it using chemicals, so much. And then there's an aspect of how often do you use your garments, should people really be investing in designer brands because they last longer, they add more value in your wardrobe than a high street brand that you wear and throw. So even from that aspect, I think a designer conversation for designer brands is a lot more relevant today than when you compare it to a high street brands.
This is the time, like he said here, the luxury of time, and I think the pandemic, and if I can, in a sense of great privilege, call it the silver lining of the pandemic, was that people had a time to really rethink what they believe in, not just in socio-political terms, but also in terms of their own consumption of something as simple as how much water they're consuming per day.
Right.
Because it was a conversation at the time of the first lockdown, like how much water are we wasting every day just washing our hands? Right. So one thing leads to the next. It's a domino effect, and sustainability has become a keyword today. It's often very overused, and I think greenwashing, and to me it's a bit of a cringe, factor. But I think we are at a pivotal moment where everything contributes in some way or the other.
I was just going to say that. You know what? Even if my intentions are wrong, at least I'm jumping on the bandwagon. At least whatever it is, at least the person, for whatever intentions they're doing it is still going to benefit the earth, benefit the city they live in, benefit the clients.
And you're also inspiring other people to do the same thing, right?
So everybody may not have the same good intentions, but as long as everybody's headed in the same direction. I also want to now get into pre-love fashion, okay? I know, especially as designers, I don't know how one would feel if, say, I bought your garment and a month later I'm like, okay, Shweta, I'm done with it. Now I'm selling it on Saritoria and for another girl to buy it, And you're seeing your beautiful clothes that were bought are being sold again and maybe again. How do you feel about this? Because let me just put it out there, like the real Vester Collective in the West, Gucci, all these brands love it and they collaborate with them. They love it and they're growing together. But as an Indian designer, because this is a very new concept in India, how do you feel about your clothes being resold and pre-love fashion in general?
So obviously not great, but what it does is it touches that market for me for the aspirational client.
Exactly.
So the client who cannot afford it but would love to wear it, I'm not going to keep giving discounts or keep going on sales, right? It's going to affect my thing. But if someone else doesn't mind wearing second hand, why not?
Yeah, and people take care of their stuff.
And more people wear it, right? So a different audience who I don't cater to is suddenly being catered to without me putting my marketing or putting any budget to it or any energy towards it. So I think it's a great idea.
I think this is, you've touched on something very important, because even the Western brands have seen this, that they are tapping into a whole new audience.
Exactly.
And that audience, which has got a taste of you now, Shweta Kapoor, Soireétoria, Gucci, whatever it is, they have a taste of it now. When that same audience is a little bit older, they can afford you then. But they already know you by then.
Because there's some people who only want new things. They want everything customized. They want that whole luxury of shopping. They want that experience, right? They want to pay for that thing. And they don't mind paying for it. But there's some people who don't, but they like good clothes. So why not?
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's a win-win. It's a 100% win-win concept, because not only is it good for a different demographic for the brand that you otherwise wouldn't have reached to, or in order to reach, you would have had to discount. And when you discount means you're producing a lot more and then you're discounting. So anyways, it's not a sustainable practice.
And discounting beyond a point does dilute the brand,
of course
right?
It's hampering the
Yeah,
brand.
so you'd rather not dilute your
Absolutely.
brand. Yeah.
Like, and for a brand like us, we have never gone on sale ever for the last
Oh,
10
wow.
years that we've existed.
I
Not
am
even
selling
once.
some Shiva narration Saritoria now for half the price. Everyone, whoever wants, come get.
So, you know, for somebody like us, this answers so many questions. Because if when somebody comes and says that, okay, how else do I get a good deal on this? Well, there's there's actually a legit platform for this. And you don't have to wait for us to overproduce, overstock, go on discount and free to get.
I'd rather buy a pre-owned original design than buy something which is a knockoff.
Yeah.
And I think when we encourage the idea of something pre-loved, pre-owned, we're also encouraging people to explore original design, and the quality, and we're getting it into people's heads that original design and original quality is better than a knockoff any day.
Right.
So it's creating that thought ecosystem as well, and a love for original brands, original labels, well designed, well produced, and there is no reason why they should not exist in a wardrobe anywhere else after the original client has
been enjoyed.
Yeah,
has enjoyed that
absolutely.
piece.
Yeah.
You know, every piece has a lifetime in a person's wardrobe.
Understand that our social structure, in general, our society is a very, very sustainable society. I personally find that Indians by far are one of the most sustainable societies because we genuinely use everything. We have our own internal ecosystem where your mothers give the saris away to the daughter-in-law, and then daughter-in-law further saves it, hands it down to your next generation. So there's already this underlayer of ecosystem of cherishing something which is given.
And it was no
Me
big
too.
deal.
I mean,
So,
I live in my
we
mother's
already
hand-me-downs.
love it, you know. So now that you see it in a millennial way through this concept of giving away designer clothes, it's only understood already. It just needed to be packaged in a millennial way.
But in a realistic sense, we all wear our friends' clothes sometimes, right? We beg, borrow,
We've all
whatever.
borrowed,
It
we've
doesn't
all worn
matter.
our friends' clothes.
It's almost like you trust
Yeah.
a friend to give you a fresh piece. It's almost like now the platform, you trust the platform that's
In
going to do
fact,
this
there's
for
another
you.
thing. So, in fact, when I went on your website, the interesting thing was there were a lot of Pakistani designers which are not available here, right? So, for me, I'm like, oh wow, now I can finally
Access
get
that,
something because otherwise you ship it to Dubai or to New
very
York.
complicated,
It's very
yeah.
complicated. You
Yeah.
just cannot do it.
Yeah.
So this is a great way. So now again, I am the aspirational client, for example.
For those
Right.
designers outside the country.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, I think that is what is interesting.
The idea is to be transparent and to let the clients know what they're buying. Some things, like I have sold things that I've never worn before. So some things are like new condition. Some are like worn once. That one lehenga I had worn several times. So we always inform the quality. We have a full QC system where if something sells, it comes to us first before it goes to the seller, to the buyer.
The buyer, yeah.
So from the seller, it comes to us. We verify that it is an original Tarun, an original Anamika. You know, we verify it. Before we launched, we made a full document of how to tell a fake from a real for every designer.
Wow.
We've done research, like some designers, how they stitch, what their labels look like. Sabya does things that are very peculiar to him.
Yeah.
So we've done a full study. We've done research, and we've made documents that even if a complete dummy is doing it, and they read the document, they should be fine. But having said that, we have experts.
Yeah.
We have salespeople who worked in the market, who worked in multi-brand stores for 10 years, 15 years, 8 years, who really understand fake from real because they've been working with these labels for so many years. Plus, we have this document. Everything comes to us first. We verify it, and then we go ahead and send it to the seller. Okay, now I'm going to do a really fun little quiz kind of thing. Okay, Shweta, a fashion trend that does not work for you. Big no-no.
Frumpy.
Frumpy?
Yeah.
I agree.
Is it a fashion trend?
It is.
Why is that a fashion trend?
Woke
Grandma
generation.
chic
Yeah.
or whatever it is. Okay, Arun, what's the best piece of fashion you've ever purchased? Could be anything. Could be like an accessory. Could be a piece of clothing.
Oh wow. Many years ago, There used to be a store called Samsara in South X.
Samsara sounds very familiar. Yeah.
And I was actually working at Genesis Luxury at the time, and Genesis Luxury owned Samsara. And there was a clearance sale. Samsara was closing down, and I bought a cotton velvet printed balance Sherwani by Rohit Bal. And I still have it, and I still wear it. It's been about 12 years.
Okay, Varun, true or false? About 40% of clothes are rarely ever or never worn that are made.
Oh yeah, true.
Well done. Okay. Your biggest style faux pas?
My biggest style faux pas.
Yeah.
That vest.
I think it was to your house on one of the events.
What
I
did you
tore
wear?
my I was wearing this knitted shirt and it completely tore because I was dancing in it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the sweater you wore to my house with holes and your
Yeah,
nipples were coming out of
That's what I'm talking about.
That one only.
No, so that the style was like that, but yeah.
No.
Let's just put it that way. Okay. Who influenced you the most while growing up, like your fashion?
My grandmother.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She was really stylish?
She was super simple, really stylish, very classic, like pearls and all that jazz happening. And like she used to change her bag every single day according to her outfit. Like, it was damn
sweet.
cute. Yeah.
Okay. GK. How many liters of water does it take to make one pair of jeans? Your options are 8,000, 10,000 or 25,000.
That's
Jeans can
terrible.
be a huge issue, but yeah.
I say 10,000.
I'm asking Shubhan, by the way, but yeah.
No, so then she said 10,000, I would say 20 or whatever that.
You're saying 25?
Yeah.
There's 8, 10 and 25.
I think it's 8,000 if I'm not wrong. But
So
then
say one, huh?
8,000, fine,
Yeah,
8,000.
It's 10.
Ah.
See. Well,
But
since he said
8
it.
and 10 are close. Okay. Okay, air drying your clothes can reduce the carbon footprint of an average household by how many pounds a year? Air drying your clothes, huh?
Okay, yeah.
100 pounds, 700 pounds, 2,400 pounds.
More likely 2,400 pounds.
Yeah, well done.
Because I'll tell you, I've made a very conscious decision not to have a washing machine in my house.
Oh, yeah?
So all my clothes are hand washed and air dried. And that is my little way of saving water.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, which fashion designer has influenced you? Actually influenced your style in the way you design?
I have been. Marnie was one which, when I was studying in
love
Italy,
Marnie, yeah.
was something I really got like. I've been very influenced by.
Consuelo for the win. Love her.
Okay, if you could raid any woman's closet, who would it be?
Ooh, my God. Rita Kapoor Chishti. She is she's India's top renowned sari expert.
Okay.
And you know, I collect textiles and saris,
Yeah.
so I would raid her closet like in a heartbeat.
Nice. Okay, guys, just closing out, I just want to hear from you guys. What do you think the future of pre-loved fashion, designer fashion in India is? You can all just say a line. What do you feel is the future?
I think what would be interesting if that does happen is if we start collecting textiles or saris as art pieces.
Ooh.
And then use it as an investment, right? So then if I want to sell that as a pre-loved thing and see if I make money out of it or whatever, like then treat it as an art investment.
That'd be really cool. So you're saying make art out of fashion garments or textile?
Exactly.
I don't imagine a future in India without the idea of pre-loved being a legit part of the retail landscape.
Yeah, me too.
That future doesn't exist.
Yes.
It is going to happen whether people like it or turn their noses up at it or not. Just like masks. We can see about 50 years, 100 years down the line, and of course pre-loved fashion is going to be as big as, and it might even
be bigger
than
first-hand designer fashion.
Yes, I hope it is, because that means the clothes have stood the test of time,
Yes.
of style, of trend, and actually designers will start then thinking about not just circular,
last
but
beyond me.
Will this did Gianni Versace know that his clothes are going to be in the Met forever and ever? No, but look at the timelessness of that. You know, we call it bad taste, but it was brilliant. It was art.
Brilliant, yeah.
And I want a young person starting out from fashion college to have that start, before they start sketching something crazy, that should be their starting point of design. How long is this going to last?
This can last forever.
And how can I make sure that it lasts forever?
Yeah, because it can go through all kinds of women.
And to do
it can
that,
go through. That's the best part.
That ecosystem and the market for that to exist has to exist first.
Yeah, which we are creating with Saritoria.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What do you feel?
I feel it's going to stand for curation to be bigger than creation, and I feel that is the future. Even within fashion, this is the biggest change that we've seen in the last decade, which is why, and spare me for saying it, which is why fashion magazines started to be questioned and their relevance started to be questioned, because they were not creating trends anymore. They had to just curate people who were doing good things. In this case, everything was happening on social media.
Right.
So in order to be relevant, they had to become curators than creators. And so is for designers, because you can't create a mini skirt anymore and you can't create a lehenga anymore, because everything's already created in a larger scheme of things. So how else do you stand out as a relevant designer of your generation? You have to start curating. You have to start curating with what's around you to do something new. And this is where I feel like a platform or this concept really comes in, because it's going to be the center of curation.
You're seeing an Abu Sandeep piece, 15 years old. You are seeing, say, another Anamika, 1 year old. You're seeing something 3 months old. All in the same platform.
Yeah.
Okay, that is so cool.
Yeah. It's literally a museum on its
it's like,
own.
yeah, because which other
Yeah.
store, which other place are you going to find things on Indian fashion from all different eras? Literally, the 90s, the early 2000s, now the latest.
Yeah.
It's just for a fashion enthusiast or lover who wants to create a fashion wardrobe, it's like, for me, it's like a candy shop.
Like a history book,
yeah, I'm like,
literally
wow,
open
this is
in
so
front of
cool.
you.
This is from this year. This is from this year. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, guys. This was really fun.